Karen Spinagle here today at Valley View Elementary. Join me today as we learn about some of the teachers here at the home of the Patriots on this edition of Be the Difference, West Virginia. We're here with Lynn Jurkowski. He teaches kindergarten here at Valley View Elementary. Lynn, how are you?
Super, Aaron. Thanks.
So tell me a little about yourself.
Let's see. I'm 38. I'm in my 11th year of teaching. Most of it's been in the primary grades. I taught first grade for about 6 years. Went to middle school, 6th grade, for 2 years. Wasn't my cup of tea. I moved in here to kindergarten, which I've been doing for about 4 years now. Absolutely.
Why did you decide to become a teacher?
It's a long story, but I can narrow it down.
It's okay.
I was graduated with my bachelor's degree in psychology, and as you can imagine, if you know much about this field, there's not a whole lot of work. So I went to work as a therapeutic staff support, which basically I followed around a young autistic girl in Pennsylvania throughout her entire school day. I was basically her one-on-one aide. She was in a first grade class at the time. The teacher, whose name was Mr. Gass, he was absolutely phenomenal, and Kelsey loved him. The rest of the kids loved him, and it just hit me one day as I was listening to him teach and watching her interact with her, that I could probably do this, and I could probably do it just as good as him, and I think I'd love it. And within the month, I was enrolled at California University of Pennsylvania. I had my master's and was picking up my teacher certification, and the rest is
How do you
history.
get your students excited about learning?
It's pretty easy actually in kindergarten. I won't try to make my job sound hard. In kindergarten, all I think you really need to do is tie what you want them to do or get them excited about into something they already know. And the second you do that, they're kind of hooked. You know, if you can relate something they've done or want to do, and they're hooked and they're ready to listen to whatever you have to say. So it's not too bad. It's just connect it to something that they're interested in, and you got them, especially at this age. And they're interested in everything at this age. So it's not like you really got to pull a
Tell me
string.
about something in your classroom that you do that your students really enjoy.
One of the things that I try to do every year, and no exception this year, is if you can play some games and have the kids interact, and when I mean games, it's not just fun stuff, it's giving them ownership, whether they're creating game pieces or they're creating a board or they're making up some of the rules to go with the game. If you give them ownership of what they're trying to do, they kind of take off the learning on their way. Monster Squeeze is an example, and Top It are some examples that come with our math series. When the kids do, I always start with this Sammy the Seal. And the reason I read that is because it was my favorite book growing up, and they just seem to really take to it, because I always do it within the first day of school, and I explain how it's my favorite book. And I think they get excited knowing that I read a book, and I read a kid's book, and I liked it, and I read a kid's book. Why am I doing one big person? Why should I read a kid's book? And they really get excited about it. The Seal goes to school, and he realized that he likes it there. He can't stay there all day, but he can maybe come back, and then we talk about coming back, and they really seem to enjoy that. Of course, this past week, Dr. Seuss week, so like every book of Dr. Seuss they love, especially in kindergarten. We're working on rhyming. You can have them finish most of the book, and so they enjoy those.
There are fewer male elementary school teachers in our schools. What are the benefits to students for having a male role model in the elementary grades?
For some of these children, just having a stable male figure in their life is a benefit emotionally. I think it provides some safety, some comfort, and I think it allows you to get over some of the hurdles that you might have otherwise. I know several kids that come in and they don't have maybe a stable adult, male or female, in their life. I can generally pick up though on the young children who don't have a stable male in their life. They tend to be a little more clingy and needy, and I love it. I mean, absolutely eat up because I know that's what they need, and I think the benefit is just having a positive role model, whether you're male or female. It basically comes down to being a positive role model.
Most important thing that you feel that families can do to support their children's learning, especially in kindergarten when it's their first year for many of them in the classroom.
I think parents need to do is to be involved. Unfortunately, that isn't always the case, and I think it's just simply a matter of knowing what your child is doing, taking a look at their folder every day or whatever communication the teacher uses, and taking a look at that. Imagine I'm a new parent that I'm going to want to be there every chance I get, just to interact, see what's going on, get to know the teacher. It's just be involved. I think it really just it's the main thing. I really think that would help.
What's one thing that you wish the public understood about the teaching profession?
That this building and the teachers and the professionals in it cannot be held solely responsible for a lot of the things that the public sees, be it dropout rates, be it pass-fail, be it West test scores, be it PA test scores, whatever state you're in, that this building and the teachers in it, regardless of how great they are, how educated, how wonderful, how dedicated, cannot be held solely responsible for a lot of the statistics and a lot of things that you see out there that might be considered negative about school, that it takes really a community, a village to raise a child. By village, I mean it takes everyone. It takes the community. It takes parents. It takes the teachers. It takes the principals, doing their part. It takes everyone. And this is not a place where parents or guardians should send their kid and then just wait for them to come home. It really takes. There needs to be some interaction and some interplay.
We're here with Kimberlea Poling. She teaches 3rd grade here at Valley View Elementary. Hey, Kimberlea, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm from this area. I graduated from Musselman High School, lived here my whole life. I went to Shepherd to earn my bachelor's in elementary ed, and this is my 4th year teaching 3rd grade at Valley View Elementary.
So what made you decide to become a teacher?
Actually, I had never planned on being a teacher. I went to Shepherd as a psychology major with an education minor, with the idea of possibly being a guidance counselor somewhere down the road. And I had a professor, Dr. Burke, at Shepherd Shepherd University. And just her experiences that she shared in the first education class really wooed me over. And I changed my major and decided to be a teacher instead.
As a 3rd grade teacher, what's one of the most important things that you hope your students learn or that they leave your classroom with at the end of the school year?
More so than curriculum based, because they're 8 and 9, I think I want them to learn independence more so than any particular reading skill or math skill. When they come in and when they leave, there's a huge transition in their personalities and their maturity. So just teaching them to get along well with others, be a responsible student, be a responsible part of their community, and how to treat others.
Tell me about your classroom. Tell me about a lesson or activity that you've done with your students this year that's really gotten them excited about learning.
One of the big math skills that we learn in 3rd grade is, of course, multiplication. So instead of the drill and practice, one of the games with the everyday math program is multiplication baseball, where we divide up into 2 teams and they go up to bat and they move along the bases if they get the question correct. And they absolutely love it. I get asked just about every day, do we get to play multiplication baseball today? And normally every Thursday is our game day, so they always request that on Thursday multiplication baseball is the first game that we play. And it's a really good game of practicing their multiplication facts, but they don't look at it as math. They look at it as a game. So they enjoy it.
Some things that you feel that new teachers need to be supported and to be successful in those first couple years in the classroom.
Having somebody to go to with just questions, because they don't teach you everything in school, and a large majority of what the actuality of it once you get into the classroom and how things function, ideas on simple things like how do you do your lunch count in the morning, where do you send your students when they're misbehaving, those kinds of things you don't really discuss in college, and the principal's office always isn't the correct answer. So just more reality-based.
What's a subject that you really enjoy teaching in 3rd grade?
Science. I do. I really enjoy science. Some of the hands-on activities the kids really get into. I love just the material that we cover, from rocks and minerals. We talk about landforms, earthquakes and volcanoes. They really get into those. And I'm a science.
We need our parents to be involved in our classrooms and be supportive of what we're doing with our students. What are some things or some ways that you feel that parents can be involved in their child's learning?
Some students, of course, their parents are on the ball, and those are the children who normally succeed a little bit better when there's support at home. So do their homework with them. A lot of students don't have that traditional family time, dinner time around the table, so how was your day? So at schools, sometimes, unfortunately for some of the students, the only time that they get to express themselves. So just be supportive and listen to their kids about anything, not just school. But that would be a big help.
Why is that helpful, just to listen to your kids?
When they're 8 and 9, number one, they like to talk, they like to share their experiences. And when there's 22 of them in one classroom and only one adult to listen to, that can be problematic as opposed to 1 or 2 or 3, depending on how large the family is. Students need that individual time. That way they know someone cares and that their thoughts matter.
So, what is a misconception about the teaching profession that you wish that you could put to the public? What do you wish the public understood about what it's like to be a teacher?
Well, you have 3 months off in the summer. That kills me because no, we don't have 3 months off. And a lot of teachers definitely prepare for the next year, improve their lesson plans, make memo lessons, and even during the school year, it's not a 9 to 5 job. Myself and a lot of colleagues put in well over 40 hours a week.
That's all for this edition of Be the Difference West Virginia. Join me next time as we learn more about the teachers here in beautiful Berkeley County. Until then, I'm Erin Spinagle, reminding you to be different, but more importantly, be the difference. I'll see you soon.